My darling, language evades intention sometimes. Trips over its own tongue, lands hanging in the air and slips through the safety nets of silence. I wish there was some way I could let you know how I've felt since meeting you. How meeting you was like finding a part of myself I didn't know I had lost. How lost doesn't feel like a bad thing when it's in the only eyes of your family that took their color from the earth your feet are so willing to wander. How your feet trod admiration back up your spine to those very chocolate eyes. How your eyes cradle me when I cannot handle contact. How contact with you grounds me. How the ground feels more stable when you balance out the pavement. How the pavement no longer feels like a tightrope. How tightropes are not scary when you're holding out a lifeline, when lifelines carve their way into my face as creases every time my eyes smile with me. How my smile welcomes you to every room, but follows when you exit. How exits entice me to dance in your footsteps in worship, transforming them into entrances. How you entered my inner circle, borrowed my trust, bubble wrapped it, tied it with a bow. How Cupid's bow used me as target practice. How practice could never quite make this perfect. How perfect is not something we ever want to achieve. How our achievements make each other proud. How pride is something we are still learning. How learning the harmony to your heart has become my favorite pastime. How time passes faster with you, like clouds carried through the sky on an autumn breeze, always too fast to catch hold of, but slow enough to transfix you. Darling, don't you see? How you cast so much light, I do not notice the sun setting. How the sun seems to set so much earlier with you around, as if bowing down to you. How you allow me my silence. How silence feels stifling without being broken by your breathing. How your breathing lulls this insomnia into shadow. How shadow is no longer my safe space. How safe is a word you taught me. You taught me that leaving does not always mean forever. Forever would never be enough time with you. Your forever is something I can only hope for, knowing I would substitute it for our happiness if the road bent that way. The road between us seems to always stretch too far. How far I would run for you if I had the breath in my lungs. How my lungs become strangers to air when you link your fingers through mine and steer me in the direction of happiness. How direction is something neither of us have right now. How right now we could be each other's signposts. How signposts so far have always led us back to one another. How that makes me feel weightless. How weightless is the closest I can get to explaining my heart state. How my heart state's the truth when you kiss me. How when you kiss me, I feel free. How 3 words become my crutch to tell you all of this at once, my darling. Language evades intention sometimes. Trips over its own tongue. Lands hanging in the air and slips through the safety nets of silence. But if you ever doubt mine, just listen for the words that are hidden in the echoes every time I tell you I love you.